I'm Christine.
And I'm Christina. In 2024, I moved to Texas from LA. And to keep in touch, Christine and I started a weekly game where we each pick a song that fits a chosen theme.
This game deepened our understanding of each other and the songs that shape us, inspiring the podcast you're listening to now.
Each week we share our picks, swap stories, and dig into tracks you might love.
And a lot of the time, have never heard of. Welcome to Stereo Thematica,
your favorite atypical music podcast.
Hey, Christina.
Hi, Christine.
Any hot takes on the future?
Yeah, we're all going to die.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much.
What'd you expect me to say?
No, I mean, do you have any, I don't know, like sci-fi
Flying
fantasies?
cars,
I don't know.
Robots that can kill.
Yeah.
They all already exist. The future is now.
Exactly. Or the future is like in a second from now.
Did I tell you I just read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Really? What made you decide to read that?
Nihilism. No, I'm kidding.
I mean,
wait,
why
cut that
not?
out. Stupid. Fantasy. Sometimes I like sci-fi and fantasy. Yeah. Have you read it?
I didn't know this about you.
A little bit.
Okay.
It's a genre I'm into.
That's good.
Are you into futuristic
I am
stuff?
Not at all a futurist. I am not, I have no delusions, no fantasies about what the future holds in store. I do not believe in transhumanism. I just don't care about it.
Is that like what Elon Musk wants for us to have like chips in our brain and shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Anything he wants, I don't want.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, I kind of don't care. Now, you kind of bring up a good point about the future. The future is now, the future is tomorrow, 1 second from now, whatever. In my mind, I was kind of imagining a future like 20 years from now, say. I think 20 years because the movie 2046, the Wong Kar-wai movie, have you seen that?
I don't think so.
It came out, I think, in like 2004.
Huh.
Beautiful movie, wonderful music, very futuristic music.
Cool.
And that's kind of my image of the future, I guess, if we're going to have an image.
2046, is that
2046, but
okay,
I would
watch
say,
this.
Yeah, you got to watch that movie. And so in my mind, 2046 plus.
Okay.
So that's the future.
Okay.
So
good.
I don't know. One thing I've always maintained, and I'm not pandering to you, but I feel like in the future, everyone will be a vegetarian.
Cool.
And that's one positive thing. And now I am not a vegetarian, but I feel like the more evolved society will be vegetarian. Or maybe it's not so much that we're more evolved, but people, as they become more stupid, the animals become more powerful. And then the people are just like, well, we can't eat animals. They're like smarter than us.
This is a Planet of the Apes situation.
Maybe. I don't know. So that's like my only sort of image of the future, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's much brighter than what I was thinking, which is just that all the animals are going to go extinct because the climate is going to be so bad. And we won't be able to have meat anymore.
That's going to happen too.
Yeah,
yes,
that too.
But
no, it's going down a dark path.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so yeah, we should probably just get to the theme then. When I thought of this theme, it was purely vibes based. So what the future feels like sonically. And I kind of touched on that with 2046. One of maybe top 20 best soundtracks, in my opinion. Yeah.
Cool.
And yes, when I pitched the theme, I did have the song in mind first. So once again, this theme was an excuse to share a song, an album really. But before we get into our songs, what were your thoughts about this theme specifically? Like, did you know what I was talking about?
Oh, for sure. Okay. I definitely had choice paralysis, though, because I love futuristic music, or what I perceive to be futuristic music. You already know I love Kraftwerk, dark wave, like a lot of stuff that feels very, it's Flock of Seagulls, Space Age Love Song, like these kind of... I love that. I love electronica music. So it was like, how do I just pick one?
Yeah.
And I had to get creative. So I appreciate your challenge.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, so the future feels less and less human to me, but not because of actual robots or even AI, but because the people who are willingly not thinking for themselves. And it's almost like we're surrendering our humanity for a loop of fear-based chaos. I kind of already feel that way a little bit. But I worry that in this far off future, the loop will be harder to escape and the music and art will be our only relief. So being a child of the 80s, the film that shaped my ideas, I didn't read the book, but of course it was Blade Runner.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, that
Sorry,
really...
I didn't even know you were going to talk about this.
Oh, really?
I love Blade Runner, by the way. It's
it's a beautiful movie. So it's weird because I thought the future wasn't necessarily a place I wanted to be with that loneliness and the danger around every corner. But that Vangelis soundtrack made the struggle almost romantic, especially for a young person who's seeing 2019, which, that already happened, as this big deal. And I always identified with the Sean Young character because of her curly hair.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But anyway, with that context in mind, my pick for a futuristic song is from Yantra's debut album, Synthesized Sudan, Astro-Nubian Electronic Yaglara Dance Sounds for the Fashaga Underground. And the song is Gedima. Christina, were you familiar with this album?
No, but immediately I feel like you shared it with me and I was like, oh my God, I love this.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot. Remember when I shared that music from Saharan cell phones?
Yes. Yeah.
It reminded me of that a little bit. Just but so cool. I turned this on last night and it was so good that when it finished, I hit repeat and had to listen to it again.
Oh, that makes me very happy. Now, I only learned about this, in 2023 when it came out. And I want to give credit to another friend and our former colleague, Matilda. She shared this with me. I think it had just come out and I immediately loved it. Vibe-wise, it made me think of Blade Runner. And I'm going to say this movie, I've said it before, The Sheltering Sky. I haven't seen it since it came out, so I don't know if it still fits. But yeah, this Bertolucci film, it's beautiful. There's something about it tonally. Maybe it's the expansiveness of the desert that taps into my perpetual sense of longing.
Ooh.
And I think Blade Runner definitely has that as well.
Yeah.
But those movies represent longing for something, anything, as an existential condition. And I do feel like that's going to be a big thing in the future. This I don't know, the sense of longing. And not that this album or Yantra's music or the song that I just played is sounding like that, but it definitely just allows me to wallow in that feeling. But it's not a sad thing. It's weirdly joyful. If the future gives us this type of music, I'll be grateful to be alive despite all the bleakness of the universe because there's something hopeful and energizing about these sounds.
Damn, dude.
It's right. It's so good. It's just it's.
You want to live a little bit longer so you can hear this music.
Yeah,
which is now.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of cool. Okay.
But I want to be clear, in Sudan, this is kind of a party album. Or rather, Yantra's music is designed for partying.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so before...
I would party to it.
Oh, you would, yes. See, for me, I feel like I prefer this as I prefer a lot of music, which is by myself, secluded, not interacting with other people.
Well, I will say I enjoyed listening to it by myself yesterday because I could do as funky of a dance as I wanted to without being perceived. So.
Good. Yeah. No, I know you don't like to be perceived. but I think you do. Anyway, so before the album's release, he was already a cult figure at weddings and street parties around Fashaga and the Sudanese countryside, where he set up his blue Yamaha keyboard and played this trance-inducing music for hours. And his name means craziness in Arabic, and his sound is part of a tradition of African synth innovation where imported keyboards are reworked by local musicians until they can handle the regional scales and timbres. And in Yantra's case, that meant a tricked out blue Yamaha with his own tones and rhythmic materials.
That's so cool.
It's really cool.
I love that.
And there's a video of We'll share that. It was very cool. But the founder of Ostinato Records, Vic Sahoni, learned about Yantra through a YouTube video during the pandemic. And he tracked him down in hopes of recording him. And I'd like to take a quick detour on Vic and Ostinato Records, because he's just kind of a cool guy, and the label is cool. There are a lot of great releases there. It's been around since 2016. The Black and Brown owned label's mission has been to recover, preserve, and share the artistic legacies and music of countries and societies torn by civil war, natural disasters, and displacement. And their motto is what the truth sounds like.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
deep.
Aren't you glad I took this little sidetrack?
It's really cool.
So when Vic went to Sudan to record Yantra, he learned he was more of an improviser, reshaping melodies in the moment. So he and the producer Yanto Kwate turned fragments of earlier recordings, MIDI data, and field recordings from Yantra's parties into this album, Synthesized Sudan, Astro-Nubian, Electronic Yaglara dance sounds from the Fashaga Underground. And I have to say that title again, just because the title alone is so futuristic.
Definitely.
And according to an article in Pan-African Music, Yaglara, this otherworldly dance music, is Yantra's creation. And in the same piece, Vic is quoted saying, he doesn't want to tell anyone where the melodies come from. He likes to go missing and takes inspiration from his wanderings. The melodies just come to him. He says they're a gift from God.
I want to go wandering and come back with good ideas.
I know, from God.
Wow, or something.
Yeah. So this celestial music, as many have called it, is built for crowds. And his performances are so intense that people have waved swords and fired guns into the air, but like as a part of this frenzied celebration.
That's just what we do in Houston. Y'all don't do that in LA?
Do you really do that?
Well, some people do shoot guns into the air, but not me. I don't have a sword either.
Okay. So the album came out just as Sudan was being consumed by civil war, which made Yantra difficult to contact. He couldn't even get a copy of his own record. And then that contrast is part of what made the release so striking. Amid the horror of war, Yantra's music brings so much joy, and you never have to sacrifice that. And maybe that's some hope for the future. Always have the defiance to dance, even in the worst conditions. And in fact, the UN recently called the war in Sudan the world's worst humanitarian displacement crisis, with millions displaced and millions more in urgent need of food and medical care. So I'm sharing a link to Amnesty International's matching fund in case anyone feels compelled to donate. Yeah, something we don't hear a lot about.
Yeah,
but,
thank you for calling that out, because I know that it gets overshadowed a lot.
I know,
the media, especially with our own country, fucking things up all of the time.
Yeah. So, and I also share an article if anyone's interested about the background of the war. But yeah, so on that somber note, Christina, can you take it away with your pick?
Sure. Yikes. What a segue. Considering this is the futuristic episode, maybe we can manifest a brighter future for Sudan.
Nice.
And Lord knows they deserve peace and relief. Well, my futuristic pick comes from the Brooklyn-based duo Javelin, a.k.a. cousins George Langford and Tom Van Buskirk, who started making music together in Providence, Rhode Island in 2005. Here's their song Estevez from the 2011 album Canyon Candy. Right away, I'm curious if you can tell why I picked this as my futuristic song, considering, as I mentioned before, I love many types of futuristic and electronic music.
Okay, what I think, I think that slide guitar,
Mm-hmm.
for me, was what made me think futuristic. Slide guitar, of course, I think of Ry Cooder. Of course, Ry Cooder makes me think of the movie Paris, Texas. Paris, Texas makes me think of like surveillance. And I think the future is like all about surveillance.
Mm.
So slide guitar, a part of
Wow.
it.
I absolutely love this.
Uh-huh.
And no, I hadn't even considered any of that in my selection.
Good.
Good, but like so good, so thoughtful, maybe more thoughtful than mine. But I went on a little bit of a weird path for this because the whole album, in my opinion, is a bit of a concept of futuristic Western music.
Yeah.
Like almost a spaghetti Western
Yeah.
soundtrack with a new age feel to it. So every song on this album has a Western vibe with accompanying tracks like Gaucho, Cowpoke, and Sagebrush, to name a few. But when I poked around to learn more about the inspiration for this album, I found an interview in American Songwriter where Tom Van Buskirk said they were inspired by a country and Western motif and the records that people owned in the 50s because he said they had like a mythical imaginary sound achieved by excellent session players on old country recordings. Yeah. So you're getting close with Ry Cooder. And I mean, Ry Cooder was his own, of course, excellent person. But while the Western motif is heavy, he said they tried to steer clear of Ennio Morricone's direct influence. But you can still kind of hear it.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. This is very unique. This is like, I loved it when you shared. Yeah.
Oh, good. Some of the other songs on the album are like maybe a little bit funkier. But it's so funny to me and interesting because it's coming, this whole like concept album is coming from an electronica band who are known for their like super fun stage presence.
Oh,
and
really?
They're quite zany.
Really? I have no idea who these people are.
Oh, really? I don't think they've made many albums recently. Like their last album might have been in like 2014 or 16. I need to double check. But learning about what went into the creation of this album that was very like had a theme and a concept, it felt like seeing growth since their earlier work is like much zanier and sillier. Yeah. Like they had a song called O Santra, which is about a cat. And a song, Soda Popinski, which is essentially sounds just like video game music. So did I share this with you when I originally shared my pick? When I listen to this album, and especially the song that I chose for this week's theme, it makes me think about what kind of music aliens might make if they access a bunch of old Western soundtracks and tried to recreate it themselves.
Oh, you know what? That makes complete sense. But I don't think you shared that with me.
For some reason, I felt like we had a conversation about it. And then I was like, girl, you were just having that conversation in your head.
Probably. I mean, I think that happens a lot with this because we like hold back on what we share.
Exactly.
But it's in our mind. And then we're like, oh, stifling ourselves. So we save it for the pod.
100% save it for the pod. I know. So their record label's website, Luaka Bob. Do you know whose record label that is, Christine?
Oh, I do. Pod favorites.
Yes. Pod fave, David Byrne, which I didn't realize he started that record label in like 88.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it's been around that long either, but I just bought a record from him, or he put out a Korean band, Linalchi, who I'm going to see at the Getty Center in just like a couple of weeks.
Oh my gosh.
But I wanted their record on vinyl, so I bought it from the website directly. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Javelin's been on this label for a long time. But on the label's website, they, share some information from Tom where he mentions their time spent touring the American Southwest with Yesair. Do you know this band?
No.
They're kind of another very futuristic, like weird, funky band, which I like. They have a cool song called 2080 that was really popular when I was in college. And Tom also talks about playing shows for South by Southwest. So the time in the West and in Austin and everything that influenced their creation of this album. And speaking of South by, I actually booked this band, Javelin, for a South by Southwest show in 2010. What? Yeah.
Oh my God.
The radio station had, we had multiple shows that we would do, like a nighttime one, a daytime one. Yeah. Like 2 daytime shows and a nighttime show. Very fun because I was the PR director. I had the opportunity to do some of this stuff, which was really fun.
Oh, wow.
I looked back in my email to confirm this, and I found an exchange between me and Tom where I had sent him some photos from their set, which was like a hilarious, very DIY set where And speaking of like their stage presence, it's like two guys with like keyboards, just kind of like banging it out. Well, an uninvited like person just jumped in and started freestyling on the mic over their music. And the band handled it like very graciously. Yeah. But in the email, because I sent him photos of this guy crashing, which I'll be sure to post in our Instagram, Tom goes, the guy offered our friend cocaine and then told him, I like your swagger, which I thought was an interesting aside.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. That's a crazy connection.
It was I mean, I didn't forget that I booked them, but like I was just trying to check the date and then I found that and I was like, wow, because that was from 2010. I'm like, interesting. Well. And of the album's title, which I actually really like, Canyon Candy, it reminds me of like, have you ever had cactus candy?
No.
I feel like I see it all the time in Arizona. It's made out of like prickly pear.
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like it's just a thing out there. Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking of with Canyon Candy. Yeah. But they say the name Canyon Candy was coined by Lucky Dragons, who's another band that they were touring with, because it sounded like a euphemism. But it also conjures up the peyote button, the desert's psycho candy.
Oh.
Ever tried peyote, Christine?
No.
Yeah, me neither. No. I don't think I'm like ready for that.
If the opportunity arises.
What if it lets you see into the future?
If I get to hear this kind of music, I'll be okay.
Bingo. Yeah. I love that. Well, much like my quest to find the human scab documentary, there's a short...
Oh no, why'd you have to bring that up? Everything was going so well.
And it still will.
Okay.
But there's a short film called Canyon Candy that was made by Mike Anderson, but it seems like it's no longer available. I checked Vimeo and lots of articles from 2011 that mentioned it, but all the links are broken and the video is missing, which I'm pretty curious about because it's a companion piece to this album. But maybe they shared some futuristic truth that we might not be ready for, and thus... Yeah. They can't share it again until, who knows?
I know.
20,
the government might
50 years from now. Well, the government's just now started to admit that there's aliens. So what else don't we know?
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't need the government to tell me that there's aliens to believe that there's aliens, by the way. They're out there. Anywho, great theme, Christine.
Yeah, thank you for indulging me and for sharing this because it is, especially the song, I'll have to like listen to more of the album, but I do love Estevez. So.
Nice. Thank you.
Well, you know what? I think it's time for some unsolicited advice that takes Christina's wonderful advice from last week just a step further. Don't just read a poem, memorize it. Though I prefer the term learn by heart, because when you memorize a poem or a passage from a book, you really are internalizing it. You feel it, you live it, and then when you recite it, you become part of it.
Talk about hyperbole.
The fact is, we memorize poems all the time, but they're called songs.
Yeah, but that's because music makes it easier and more fun.
Very true. And when I wanted to memorize a Lorca poem, I found one set to music so it would stick. And some 5 years later, I can still recite it, though I may take a pause here and there for a guitar break.
Well, I can certainly take this tested advice to heart.
And if you can't find something set to music, I've got an app for you called Memorize by Heart. No need for flashcards or ridiculous memory palaces. I've tried that. That's just another whole complicated thing to get yourself into. It's just some simple science-based low-stress activities to help you remember what you want to learn. And if you don't know what you want to learn, they've got a library to get you started. Hamlet, anyone?
To be or not to be memorized, that is the question.
And we have the answer in the show notes. Advice over. What's going on next week?
Next week, let's go to the game!
Thanks for listening to Stereo Thematica. If you like what you're hearing, please consider a review, a rating, or sharing with a friend.
And follow us on Instagram at Stereo Thematica, where you can share your favorite futuristic songs. We've also got our infinite Spotify playlist linked in our show notes.
And visit stereothematica.com for more fun.
Insert robot voice.